What's up, y'all? Try something new. In fact, we dealing with this new moon. Try something new. Also realizing again, like to not be scared to, like what am I scared of? Of like trying new ways of doing videos, stuff like that. But a lot lately. Been realizing to just go with the flow. Seeing what I truly love. In that sense, matter of fact, we having a little walk. Matter of fact, the symbology of the walk to the corner store, you know, in the subconscious, trauma in beneficial manners and unbeneficial manners, We think about the walk to the corner store, most of us would think of like you think about what it is, Boys in the Hood and Ricky, you know what I'm saying? And hence why we don't want, you know, that kind of subconscious programming to be connected with, you know, being promoted in that sense. Healthy subconscious program. What's up, everybody? I see y'all coming in. Let me boost the light on my phone a little bit so I can see a little better. Right. What's up? What's up? That's another thing too. Like I feel like my superpower is like doing what I'm doing now. It's like, cause again, with everything as a balance, like with connection to my neighborhood, or should I say the neighborhood that I grew up in, you know, it's like I always dreamed of bringing like that information, like the abundance of information and just everything, you know what I'm saying, to this area, and seeing like my superpower of being able to present information that seems like it's way so mystical and stuff like that, and be able to share it to somebody, like at a general conversation at the corner store. I could relay the message of, of great philosophies, you know what I'm saying, and put it into a situation of just like a conversation from the corner store. Matter of fact, y'all, don't forget to hit the like buttons. Hit the like button, subscribe if you vibe with, the channel, of course. Hit the notification buttons, all that good stuff that goes into the algorithms of the videos and how they appear. So definitely. What's up, everybody? Elizabeth B. Word, hola. Go with the flow. I mean, Warren Teagle. Yeah, go with the flow. Yeah. And again, like right now, realizing, all right, Marcia from Rio, Brazil. What's up? What's up? Matter of fact, especially the international folks, definitely share. You feel like somebody, because again, it's about impact. Me doing this and asking for my videos to be shared. I don't give a fuck if I never ever got popular. I don't give a fuck if nobody in the world ever knew who I was. You know. And it's funny because as I say that, I know it again, it's a parody. I'm not looking for that fame, and not trying to push that. And at the same time, by me doing what I do, you know, it's gonna get out there, you know what I'm saying, without even having to try, So definitely. But keeping things simplistic, and I realize with my connection to my neighborhood, like again, the pros and cons. I see that, for the most part, there's still aspects of like progression that I can't, I wouldn't be able to deal with, especially staying in my hometown. Because again, I wouldn't, like right now, my life is not for me to stay in my hometown. But I see why I value this connection so much and I value coming back to Louisiana and, you know, being here and connecting with this vibe and seeing what it, again, like the internal story being reflected externally. Because again, when we have resistance or we have some type of trauma that's holding us back, you know, we can't use positive energy or positive focus to fix that. We gotta actually see what's going on in order to heal it. You know what I'm saying? Again, you got the broke leg. You know, positive focus ain't gonna heal that broke leg. You gotta actually focus on the fact that you do have a broke leg, and then go from there on what's the solutions on how to heal it. You know, but you can't ignore it and try to just use positive focus. You know, to try to, cause that's also what my trip about too. To, you know, allow for me to embrace my roots and embrace where I come from without looking at it as bad. Cause in some way, form, or fashion, you know, we may still be looking at certain aspects as bad, you know. And again, like, as the wholeness of God energy, you know, I'm fragmented if I look at any part of me as separate, you know what I'm saying? Or if I look at any part of me as separate, or, you know, or not a part of me, you know what I'm saying? That creates a fragmentation in my psyche, you know what I'm saying? Like, that throws me off. And literally that's reflected into the world, you know. When God forgets that it's, you know, whole, you know, you have shit like wars and all this kind of other shit going on such a high level, you know, because, you know, that's what happens in the mind of God when when you got all this fragmentation going on. And as above, so below, as within, so without. It starts with us. You know, again, it's the change starts with us. You know, that's the only thing that can really change things is our own inner change and inner growth. You know, again, like nobody could help us but us. You know, yeah, I could present videos. Yeah, a Reiki person could, you know, provide a healing, but at the end of the day, it's you healing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to take it upon yourself to do what you got to do. To, you know what I'm saying? To tap into that next level. The corner store. The staple. The staple corner store. Think about the symbology of this. This corner store nickname is Wig Splitter. Wig Splitter, because the owner of the store used to beat his wife or something like that. Yeah. Crazy shit. Oh, shit. No mask. Oh, what's up, my brother? You ain't got no more packs of backwoods? Big pack. Let me get I'm gonna get 2 of the sweet aromatic, the singles.
$3.11.
All right, I'm using my card. Okay, you might have to use it, bro. Look, I got a card.
Huh?
I got a card.
50 cent charge.
All right, cool.
The number.
All right. Let's see. All right. That's it. Cool. You ain't gotta worry about receipt. Thank you. All right, Elizabeth Word say Louisiana got that deep juju. Yeah, shit. The energy is definitely run. It's strong around this way for sure. Ooh, shout out to the little kids with the little jump thing, though, man. Y'all can't see it from here. They back there. Look, I gotta use the little. You over there with the little jump thing, right? Matter of fact, I'm walking around here because people not used to a person being dressed like how I'm dressed, and that whole little vibe. So motherfuckers looking at me like this motherfucker look like he just got off a camel. He look like he just finished camelback riding in the desert. Where this nigga come from? Oh, you watched that Truman Show for the first time? Yeah, that shit is real. I'm seeing like right now, like I'm vibrating on such a frequency, where I'm not attracting the unhealthy aspects. At least in this moment, because usually like a store walk in my neighborhood, that would pop up with all kind of familiar faces and people, that I grew up around, stuff like that. And matter of fact, speaking of that, that's something I'm seeing very key. Like when I had my brethren, it's from kindergarten, all that, like, best friends, or one of my best friends, And I was sitting on my mom's porch yesterday, and he stopped through. And as we was running it, again, like realizing, like, let your heart be the guide. Cause in that moment, I could have took some spiritual teachings from my mind and said, oh no, that's a friend from my past. I'm going backwards just by talking to him. You know what I'm saying? I could have went into that mode, but I didn't, because again, like you feel the energy, you know what I'm saying? Like you let it be felt, Right, how you doing? Like you let the energy be felt, discernment, you know. And what's fire, and then speaking of discernment, for that situation, then like right after that situation, my other partner came and rolled up and sat on the porch and was running about how somebody had hit his car. He was like, bro, this fool done hit my car, man. But it's like, but I ain't even tripped, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like basically used his discernment. He was like, I felt the energy. Cause the brethren was like, man, I ain't got no car insurance. The most I got is $10, and I'm trying to feed the fam. You know what I'm saying? And my partner was like, bro, I used my discernment. I felt it was genuine, and I just let it go. It's like I'm just, let my own insurance pay for it, And again, that's also like the bigger aspect in our community, cause that could have easily turned into, oh man, fuck you, cause when we do ratchet shit like that, like not realizing again, like when you trying to, like, oh, I gotta make sure I hit you with my insurance, even though you just said you on your last buck and you're trying to feed your family, let me still hit you with the insurance claim. And not realizing when we do shit like that, that's basically like saying I don't believe in God enough to make sure that I could fix my car on my own. So I need to bam you right now in order to do so. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the whole, like the disconnection from sources was basically, as the whole reason why somebody feel that a mask could save them. Like here it is, the universe created this great, or should I say, source energy. It's this big, beautiful, great, what I'm saying, amazing thing, everything and no thing at the same time. And you telling me that, that source energy hasn't created a way for me to naturally protect myself from, quote unquote viruses and things of that nature, It's like that doesn't line up. But Yeah, happy Sunday to y'all, man. That's beautiful. Like I'm realizing how much everything is like, bro. We already won. Like we already won WON, and we already won ONE. Shout out to Miss Blue. That's where I got that analogy from. Matter of fact, Miss Blue done did work with Brother Panic before, but her radio show is like she's so on point with what she discussed. And matter of fact, the YouTube channel Masterly Foolish, shout out to that channel, which actually broadcasts, other channels, with helpful information, But and they have some of Miss reason why I brought that because he got some of Miss Blue videos on there. But we already won, Again, it's like really just getting to the consciousness of realizing, and like the only work really is just removing, trauma, you know, or should I say, just removing any type of teachings or any energy that doesn't bring us, that highest authentic resonant with our soul. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever doesn't authentically, you know, resonate with the highest aspect of our being, because another thing too, again, realizing like a lot what I've been getting tapped into is again embracing the shadow aspect and realizing again like the person who who has that strongest connection is the person who fully embraced the wholeness of God. It's not the guy that just meditates and only focuses on peace and I only want to focus on the good things in life, man, and that's it, and only good things and only sugar dumplings and cupcakes. You know what I'm saying? Like that person is naive and you could feel it when you come across them compared to somebody, who who has that ability to harm someone else or kill or, do something that's quote unquote negative. You know what I'm saying? Like the person who has that ability, and again, women choose their mates off of this. So this is also like, a real true thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman gonna choose the brethren who again got like that shadow aspect enough to know that she protected and her family protected. I never got worried about, I mean, just straight up, I never got worried about this food, being scary in a situation where, well, again, from her perspective, where me and the children gonna need, safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you reproduce with somebody that can't, preserve the family unit? Like that, Same thing on how we look at women and why we attracted to women with, with hips, because, and it, like, you may think it's a mental thing of like, because that's what I realized too, like some aspects of our physical attraction is more spiritual than it is physical, you know? Again, like we attracted to booties and breasts because that shit, it looks like a tourist field. It's sacred geometry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just a booty and breasts. You know what I'm saying? Like the shape of it, has certain symmetry and geometrical expressions in it. You know what I'm saying? Like it has certain angles and it got the mathematics in it. You know what I'm saying? The matrix is about the numbers, the numerology. You know, the numerology. Is in all of that. you know. Yeah, it was Sunday. Maria, Alma, you quit your job. Well, look, much blessings and prosperity for your bravery, and it will be rewarded. Definitely. Shout out to that horn beeping right after I said that. you know, because that's what I realized. Like, you know, the balance of course, we want to have a strong connection with spirit. Of course, this realm is not the end all be all. And at the same time, while we're here, again, we're like, it's something to be grateful for, to be able to be basically source's hands or God's hands here on, earth. And again, quote unquote God's people is more so, again, just anybody who understands this, the wholeness of this concept. You know what I'm saying? And delivering that to the to this quote unquote realm right now, of understanding like, hey, it's about the wholeness of your being, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just the negative, you're not just the positive, you know. It's the wholeness of the experience, and again, it's what brings you your, again, like, we looking for just getting to know ourselves to the fullest, you know what I'm saying? Getting to know ourselves to the fullest and expressing ourselves authentically, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you authentically, love and want to do? I mean, again, a lot of people who try to create quote unquote genetic or racial boundaries, might not like this statement. But again, man, marry whoever the fuck you want. Like, marry whoever you want. And when I say marry, have sex with whoever, I don't mean like, hey, just marry who you want. I'm meaning, like, again, like, what do you like? Not what so and so say, not what the culture say. What lights your fucking heart up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you'll be fucking around and miss out on, your experience to the fullest. And hence why I've been having, again, get back to that space of, like, not watching too many videos and not listening to, and that's for me, because we all wired different. I know my wiring. Sometimes, like, where I can't binge on listening to others. I gotta, like, stick and move, because the way things have been previously wired is sometimes I give too much, merit to authority figures' words, and again, and that also comes from a lack of confidence within myself, because I'm lacking confidence in myself, so I'm, like, putting all my merit and all, like, you know that aspect of somebody else teachings, and having to realize, like, no, bro, like, you done fucking started your whole YouTube channel. You got, I don't know how many people constantly telling you that you genuinely help. Like, stop listening to, these quote unquote, or at least hanging on every word and opinion of these quote unquote master teachers and elders who came before. Because again, they only expressing the best they can from where they was at, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, like, what I realize, what throws us off is when we listening to others instead of our own inner guidance, you know what I'm saying? Like, your own inner guidance is the end all, be all, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. Yeah, unconditional love is key. Cause again, like, people have come across me, like, that's why I always laugh, cause I think about myself being like Bo Rachel from Mortal Kombat, like the drunken fighter, you know. And I've seen, like, people come across me in my moments when, when my light wasn't shining its brightest. And if they judge me off of that, they thinking like, oh man, this guy, ain't shit. He lacks confidence, this and that. And then, then that same person go on YouTube, or come across somebody else that they look into. Like, they come across somebody that they consider to be cool or this and that person, like, hey, you ever checked out Universal Frequencies, man? You should check out, you know what I'm saying? They're like, what the fuck, that guy that I met the other day that was like, lacking confidence and trying to get me to buy one of his bracelets or something. Like, that guy, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Again, like, we go through, cycles and shifts, and that's again, like, one of the main things to be aware of is to understand that you're gonna make mistakes. Like, it's okay to make mistakes, and you're gonna make mistakes. You know, don't look at that aspect as something bad. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of the growth. You know, always have fun with it, and always realize, again, with any negative situation, like, and again, cause we take it too serious. Like, have fun with this shit. You in the matrix. You get stuck in a conversation or dealing with somebody who ain't of the highest vibration, and is a situation where it seems like you there, like you can't really get yourself out of it. Have fun, observe, and ask yourself every time they saying something or you interact, like, what is it for me to learn from this situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, but just constantly be observant and non-judgmental. You know what I'm saying? It's like me and my brethren was just running about that too, like the aspect of, like, he like, man, with us dealing with connecting with family, because I feel like a lot of us going through this, again, because I mean, all of us in essence of, like, evaluating and reflecting on, the family unit, the home aspect, you know what I'm saying? Like, in our connection with that. And again, like, realizing, and with anything, like I tell, like I just brought up with coming across my brethren who I grew up with, it's like using your heart discernment and how you feel. Like, when you come across somebody from your past, let's just say, do you feel drained? Do you feel neutral? Or do you feel like you got some energy from it? And again, have that awareness with all your relationships. Because by having that awareness, again, that's how we aware to know where to invest our energy in. You know what I'm saying? What people, places, and things to invest our energy in. It's like a discernment. You can't just like, oh, this person, you know, me and them used to be like this or that. It's like not just resting upon those old notions. Use your discernment. And I use my discernment, and as we running it, I'm like, and again, what I be learning from, again, being back in Louisiana, and just like the aspect of what I'm learning to embrace is learn to embrace the physical, like, like, because I'm seeing my brethren, they got their vehicles and stuff like that, and I realize, again, just because you're spiritually tapped in, it's not just that, like, just being able, oh, I could hear ghosts and I could see things with my inner eye. That's cool, but how are you using that to be the greatest version of yourself and be that expression of that within this physical reality? Like, again, all the little cool aspects of, like, working with crystals and astral travel and all that is cool. How am I applying that to my transformation and being my greatest version of myself? Like, that's the name of the game. Gotta grab the shrubbery. Again, this video also was for me to break out of a barrier of being, like, again, I feel like I was, like, trying to present myself too perfect. Like, again, there's a certain level of efficiency and tactfulness that we should have with presenting ourselves in situations. Because, again, if I'm presenting myself as somebody, like, like, hey, the things that I'm talking about, it could be great advice for your life. If I am presenting things in that manner, I definitely want to be efficient and tactful. But again, realizing being who I am, like, again, like, what did I do this for, though? Because honestly, I created, I wanted to create a situation to show people, again, like, that you can still go to the corner store. Like, my main thing is to show that you could grow in manners that, again, like the traditional sense of spirituality, from from a lot of aspects, from the new age movement and from the cultural aspect. Like, it's not all, exactly how it's, promoted in that sense. Like, how can I explain? It's like, when we talk about, again, letting go of our past and growing, forward, again, it's letting go of the unhealthy aspects of our past, and viewing and really, again, like realizing, like, even with the healthy and unhealthy, quote unquote, it all serves a purpose. And again, like, using connecting with my partner as example, like, I didn't feel like I was being drained, like I didn't feel like I was going backwards, and even more so, I felt like a blessing. I felt like a little surge of energy, because the brethren was also like, yeah, bro, I just been working on my music, writing that shit, kind of like, woo. I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, like, it actually gave me a little spark. And then it's like, all right, so again, it's all off of my inner intuition. Because say, for instance, y'all came across a video. I know I done had videos. I'm like, hey, look, the old people, places, and things. You know what I'm saying? We gotta grow away from it, this and that. And again, showing you how different messages comes at different points of your growth, and different different aspects of our growth has more of a importance in different parts of our growth. Like, when we first waking up, yeah, it's important to, like, bro, we gotta draw away from all that shit that we've been kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm considering myself to, like, take my, heal myself from alcohol and drinking a lot, when I first do that, I gotta pull away from the shit. Like, how can I consider myself stop drinking, a person that stopped drinking, if I'm still drinking, you know? So it has some level of physical detachment first, where I had to, like, physically detach myself and be by myself more, and and less of, like, talking to my moms and family members and stuff like that, because I had to really see, like, all right, what in my subconscious, or what in my being am I expressing from my genuine soul, and what aspects are coming from what I learned from people, places, and things during the first 7 years of my development. You know what I'm saying? Like, assessing that. But again, like, the key to it is just to live, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, just be a beacon, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rick James, James Brown, they didn't have a YouTube channel talking about all these things. They just done it. Prince didn't have a YouTube channel. Michael Jackson didn't have a YouTube channel. Bob Marley didn't have a YouTube channel. But they just done it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's whatever form of expression you're great at, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely, again, us tapping into the imagination and creativity, because that's also with us being activists. That's why I'm, like, kind of like showing people, like, the Kanye West aspect, because I'm like, like, we done saw the blueprint of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Tupac. Like, we done saw what happened to them. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you want to slice it, it's like, all right, damn, like, how can we do this, like, bring up these things and be activists about these things in a more creative, imaginative way, where we're doing the same thing that a Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was trying to do, but we dressed it up in a different package that way. Because again, when the antagonist realized, like, oh no, that's that, it got that Malcolm X blueprint to that, you know what I'm saying, this and that, you know. And it's just like calling plays in football, you know what I'm saying, like the flea flicker, you know. It's like you fake giving it to the running back, and then the running back give it back to the quarterback. Like, the idea is to, trick that aspect, you know what I'm saying, of ourselves, you know what I'm saying, in that sense. It's like we're not, like, calling the plays straight up, like, it gotta be, a little stealth to that, you know. And that's, even, again, it starts with our own growth, like, we have little stealthy ways of, like, tricking our ego, and we say use the word tricking, but, like, helping our ego to align fully with the wholeness of the being, you know, instead of being like a constant little antagonist. Oh, word to the hawk in the sky. I don't know if y'all could see it. Let's see. Oh, he way over here. Hey, shout out to them signs and symbols. Hold on, no, I gotta get something to lean this on. Yeah, you know. Again, y'all don't forget to hit the like buttons if you're liking the vibes. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to get notified every time I do a video. Oh, I could use this brick. Jackson, there you go. You know. Oh. This work. Oh, all right. I need something else. Get it right. Get it right. Scroll down. There we go. About to roll up. Hey, oh, that's so dope. Let me say my piece. I don't know if you posted that because you were on my Instagram earlier, but I said that about I'm like no coincidence that the checkered flag, you know, represents finishing a race. And you think about race and how some people consider races to be colors. You know, like, oh, you're black, you're white, that's your race. You know, and shout out to Bob Marley with the song Rat Race. Oh, what a rat race. Oh, what a rat race. Rat race. You got the dog race. You got the rat race. But again, like the checker flag, like, you know, duality. Like you finish duality. Like you master duality. You finish the race by realizing that race was an illusion. You know, you got it. You realize yin and yang both are part of the whole. That they're not two separate entities. You know, because again, by separating source energy, you giving power to whatever you separate it from. Like again, Christians don't realize, like, fuck, they might as well worship the devil because they give more credit to the devil than God. Like, well, the devil be, I'm telling you, man, the devil be, he be, da-da-da, and the devil be this and that. Like, you say you might as well fucking go to the Church of Satan. Sound like you know, like if the devil that good, that fucking, and you giving the devil all those props for putting forks in God's plans, then, you know, maybe the one who's putting the fork in the plans is more powerful than the one who actually making the plan. Again, from that perspective, you know. But yeah, that finish line, you know, shout out, matter of fact, Ashe, Nipsey, Nip Hustle, Ashe. And reason why I'm ignoring some questions, because I feel like it would take me off of subject to a place where it's like random to like, because I'm realizing again, like I saw the question about astral travel, I saw the question about crystals, and it's me just doing my fact. Look, it's me, you know, doing my, because I guess I just want to, you know, making sure like that the real essence of the message is being, delivered. Because again, like crystals and astral travel, or your astral connection is just simply like the moment I close my eyes and start visualizing the my new home that I'm creating, or I visualize having sex with somebody. I visualize having a conversation with, like, that's us connected in the astral plane. Cause the moment I visualize that, that person gonna feel that, aka be able to connect with it, you know, from their perspective astrally, you know. But cause again, like I'm looking to be grounded in my experience, in my human experience, and again I realized, like, and to each his own, but like realizing I don't want to be a stone Buddha. I'm a living Buddha. You feel me? Like that's the aspect. If y'all got any questions on, like, shadow aspects or integrating, the fragments of our soul, or or just understanding, again, like what's going on right now, I'll be more willing to answer those questions. And that's not to say that the questions you had are bad or wrong, or, you know what I'm saying, or stupid, or none of that. Because how powerful of a God would I be if I was scared of a certain part of myself? You know, how could I be, again, like if I'm scared of any part of myself, you know, where's the power in that? I can't be scared of myself and I can't run away from myself. Shout out to the neighborhood botanist, though. Oh, that team light. Probably some indoor, though. I don't promote. I'm much more rather outdoor. But again, this is a part of the, because again, that's another thing. Like, we are alchemists, you know what I'm saying? Like, our everyday situation is alchemizing this realm, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker throw GMO bud at me, I'ma fucking shit out beautiful roses, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, cause that's another thing, like realizing, bro, like, again, the only way that you would feel like something is wrong, or like, oh, is if you mentally start painting those little negative pictures, you know what I'm saying? But again, like, and right now more than ever is to, maintain. Like, I think about what Jordan Peterson says. Like, you want to have the type of energy of, like, the strong person at the funeral. Like being that person that would be strong at the funeral. For everybody else. You know, doesn't necessarily mean you're not crying. Or trying to hold up this fake position, but just more so like you're balanced and you're whole about it. And you're grounded enough to be there for everybody. Because again, like when I think about my auntie that transitioned, again, most of my family still, like, may even be into, again, the aspect of, like, still thinking like, oh, once you die, that's it. And it was at a church, but I didn't go to the church aspect because again, I know me. I'm like, and I always talk with the energy, like like I'm talking with my auntie on some, like, yeah, she like, yeah, oh boy, I know you're not going to the church to see my body on that vibe. But she's like, but be there for him, you know what I'm saying? Like in the little after hour, the little after effect, And again, so I was there for, again, like when we chilling, drinking the after party, you know what I'm saying? That gate A, Baron Sam, the energy, look, drink and have fun, you know. And again, being that beacon of sturdiness and in that moment. Cause again, I always share again from my perspective, like, hey fam, I ain't telling y'all to, you know, that y'all should believe in this right now. But hey, like I talked to Auntie the other day, I talked to my pops the other day, you know, like we're always connected with with those who transition. Again, shout out to New Orleans for holding on to that tradition. One of the, like, again, like, of course they might still have like indigenous beings that actually do this, of course, but like shout out to a place where basically it's been, you know, uh, colonized, and yet the people still held on to the aspect of knowing that we supposed to celebrate when you transition, aka the second line. The first line is to the church, to have the funeral procession, and then the second line, hence why it's called the second line. So you ever hear, that terminology, been to Louisiana or been to New Orleans, you hear like, hey, everybody going to the second line, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like that's that vibe. And as I say that, realizing for myself, like, like I always want to be able to have that connection, in Louisiana. And hence why, again, like, and now I'm realizing, like, all right, I want to be in California and at the same time maintain my connection with this area, because it is a beautiful place and has beautiful connections and beautiful beings awakening here. Again, no matter how much I may joke and call it, you know, Slopaloosis, the slop. We got little nicknames for our city, little derogatory nicknames for our little cities. Like instead of Baton Rouge, the Big Raggedy. Instead of Opelousas, the slop or old piece of loose ass instead of Opelousas. you know, I make these jokes, but again, like, I do see, and that's what I value. Like, I value being there for the people in my, you know, in the type of communities that I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as much as I like LA, and again, I would just find myself more, being in LA, being more in the Leimert Park, Compton area, you know what I'm saying? But like, again, that's where I want my presence to be at, it's in the hood. Like, I don't necessarily, and again, it's a balanced situation. I can't force nothing on people that's not ready. That's another thing I realized. Like, like, hey, like, if people ain't ready, you're just like spinning your wheels and trying to force something on somebody. And at the same time, though, yes, you can be available to those people, you know, but not trying to force it. Again, like, you can't force nothing upon nobody. Nothing was forced upon us. We didn't get no idea, no matter as much as a person would try to say or try to make it seem as if, somebody else could, force you to do something or something. It's like, no, ain't nothing happened in our reality until we allowed it to. Even the situations that you think you didn't have control over, it was you that allowed it, regardless if you were in the illusion of thinking you didn't have control or not, you know. Like, oh, the school system is doing this to my, to the children, but I can't take them out of the school because what I'm gonna do. Duh, duh. You can. It's just that, again, from that perspective, and hence why they always try to keep us in a fearful mode. Because when you're in a fearful mode, you're not necessarily thinking about long term. Because again, now it's the vibrate, and now it's the vibrate in connection with constantly, moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Or creating the future. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we want to be in the moment and be present, but not in that like short-term fearful flight or fight mode. You know what I'm saying? like, cause we're not able to tap in fully when we're in that mode, you know. Like, 'cause that's what my day's been, you know, again, like making sure I sit down with myself, not hurrying up and trying to start my day on those shit. It's like, bro, like reflect, you know. Matter of fact, gratitude, bro, gratuity. Like, I've been on my gratitude rampage just like it ain't nothing. Matter of fact, give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta get a lighter. Yeah, then I'm gonna lock the door on myself. Why you? Why you? Hey. Drawing that connection. What's a tree without its roots? Without the, you know, them beautiful flowers we see blossoming from trees, all the beautiful branches, you know, that come from that tree. You know, again, digging deeply into the ground, into the earth, you know. Lifeless tree, right? You know. But yeah, that's the thing again, like with us being in wherever, it's like, you know, where is where is joy? Where's that place of happiness and joy for us? Like, where is the place that, you know, again brings us that most, that highest connection, the strongest inspiration. And again, it's just like where I'm at right now. Right now in my life, I'm feeling like, again, like I'm, is that connection to California. And I realize too, and hence why, like, sometimes you do have to sit there and like long term, short term, and it's not necessarily rigidly, because again, that's another thing I'm realizing. We are tapping into a state of being where it's going to be less thoughts and less rigidness to the way we, deal with things, and at the same time, still, again, masculine and feminine balance. So that doesn't, because again, if we just intuition or just feminine, then again, like, we doing the same thing that was previously done, where things was overly masculinized, and then we'll bring it to an off balance, overly feminized, and then things will be unbalanced in a feminine perspective. And that's the mistakes we constantly been making, throughout past lives, or you know, dealing with, when they talk about the stories of seeding life on different planes of existence. You have to pass the test of duality in order to graduate. And it makes sense, like that your energy wouldn't be able to leave this place until you've mastered the aspect of it, of dealing with it, you know, because how could it, you know what I'm saying? How could it continue? And also, like, seeing like the business aspect. That's another thing. Like, oh, spirituality mean that you can't do business and stuff. Like, you only could be in nature. You only could walk around with with you can only walk around barefooted wearing crystals to be spiritual. Like, if you don't have dreadlocks and work with crystals, and that's like farthest from the truth. Because again, it's an understanding. Shout out to my brethren and sisters who don't who wear regular clothes, like, where you wouldn't even be able to know if they knew this occult stuff on that level. Because again, like, is an understanding and a liberty, and not necessarily again like a thing that you have to outwardly express in that sense. Some of us just choose to. Are we? That's just how we vibe. Like that's our vibe. Like because again, I wanted harem pants before I even started my journey. Like I used to call them Aladdin pants. I like, bro, I want them pants like Aladdin, bro. Until later on in life it manifested. You know, I got them pants that I was, them Aladdin pants I was always looking for. I'm thinking about Arizona. Yep. I mean, again, it's wherever brings you. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I look back at my thing with Venice, and I let a lot of other people ideas about Venice chase me away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and LA in general, like, like, oh, it's a bunch of fake energies and fake, but it's like, for one, again, you deal with what you reflect and what's going on inside of you, and you could be, what I'm saying, you could be in a certain place and not have to deal with that, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to the Brethren AA Rashid. Like just because what I'm saying, like, and I realize like, damn, all right, I'm kind of more listening to other people's opinions about Venice and and just moving around in general, because another reason why I'm like had to come back to Louisiana is too because I've been overvaluing the opinions of and not say like listening to the opinions in real time, but more so like just knowing how my family thinks and stuff, and like the aspect of looking crazy to somebody, or maybe I am, and then I realized like more so what it was honestly is me like realizing that it, not caring about like the aspect, but also really realizing like, all right, I wasn't tripping in that sense of it, but I was being ungrounded, in some way, form, or fashion, or not as grounded as I could be. Because again, the fact that I was, taking care of myself on the level that, I was shopping at Heroin almost every day basically. I ain't gonna say every other day, but I'm shopping in that Heroin every day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Heroin, the one in Venice by the lemonade spot. Matter of fact, next to Vice TV. Cause I started to, as a matter of fact, I was earlier my little growth, and even being again realizing that aspect of that, like being, oh, should I even deal with Vice or Hollywood or any of this, or I'm gonna get caught up in the Matrix, man. I'm gonna end up, what I'm saying? It's like, no, you know, you only get it is caught up as the. So if I lack trust in my inner being, so that honestly to me that's what that speaks to. Those of us who kind of physically hold ourselves back from interacting in the realm, as basically saying that we don't trust ourselves to interact in the realm. Now a mouth will tell you anything. We could, oh well, no, it's because of this, because of that. But at the end of the day, and that's a intelligence, to say, hey, I know myself, I know thyself, and I know that the way Hollywood is constructed, or the way these things are constructed, I may, not be able to maintain that understanding. You know what I'm saying? While some of us like, oh no, I came down earth for this, and I understand that I'm gonna maintain this balance while I'm, doing whatever it is, But like, it's definitely like a sign of lacking trust. Again, we could say whatever, but I feel like that is like a trust issue. You know. in some way, form, or fashion. I mean, cause I just go back to the aspect of like, like I'm not meant to be afraid of anything. And again, just because I'm not meant to be afraid of fire, doesn't mean I go light the stove on fire and then pour, some gas on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a balance in all areas, in any, situation. Yeah, it's definitely what's best for you. Cause again, your energy gonna follow you no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? To you go to Mexico, you go to Canada, you go like your all of your energy is gonna follow you in that place, and you're gonna see your inner energy manifest Mexican style, or you're gonna see your inner energy manifest Canadian style, or you're gonna see your inner energy manifest Louisianian style, or fucking Los Angeles style, but it's still you. It's just and again, in some way, form, or fashion, your conscious did shift to a place. Cause again, like you are where you are because of what's going on inside of you. So literally, if you uproot, and I say uproot, if you move to a different place, that's because your consciousness moved to a different place. So you physically move to a different place. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's we're walking expressions of the universe. Matter of fact, I think about Home Alone. I think about when he was playing that mafia movie. It's like, I'm gonna give you to the count of three, you punk. Bro, fucking the subconscious programming and nostalgia of movies, bro. They studied the fuck out of the subconscious before making movies, man. And again, realizing, bro, it's all us. We have no enemies, you know. I mean, it never turns off. Like the fact that if you find yourself around a bunch of type of people that you dislike or don't like, that's because, damn, bro, this moldavite been moving some energies through my heart. I've been feeling like a little pain, a little sharp pain every now and then in my little heart, but I know what that means. Been moving them energies. Matter of fact, I've been rocking with my moldavite more medicinally these days. Like, certain days for wearing it, And I even had a talk. I was like, Moldavite, you know, remember, we're not trying to, because again, like with shadow work, you have to shine a light on that negativity, on that darkness, It's not about trying to, place a positive, happy face sticker over negativity, you know what I'm saying? Like, in that sense of it, it's like some aspects of trauma and negativity we have to face in order to heal. And I'm like, like Moldavite, with me working with you, let that high vibration not be something to mask a energy, but more so to get a deeper understanding about a certain shadow aspect or a certain aspect of myself that I fear facing. So this is not, so again, like when I'm connecting with Moldavite, this ain't no like, oh, let me hurry up and try to, you know, throw some high vibrations over this lower vibration I'm feeling. Because again, I realize the unhealthiness of that. Like if I'm feeling bad or sad or horrible, feel it. Like, go through it. By allowing for ourselves to go through the motions of it is what allows for it to fully dissipate. It's like a paradoxical situation. Again, like in order to heal a broke leg, I gotta acknowledge the negativity and the brokenness of that broke leg. You know what I'm saying? In order to heal it, compared to like if I had the broke leg and I'm like, oh no, just positive affirmations and you know, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. I am positive and I am source energy. And then you look back at that broke leg and that shit just still, you know what I'm saying? Still festering. definitely seeing like the aspect of embracing the physical experience and embracing what I truly love, because I do love to, like again, like the aspect of connection that is in Louisiana, because I do feel like Louisiana is some prime real estate for spiritually, you know, for spiritually awakening and spiritual awakened people. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm seeing how sometimes like you have premonitions about what's to come, and you know it may be a little further ahead than than the way it really is in that sense of it. Because I mean, again, I'm creating it, but again, I know for myself the whole blueprint of what I'm doing, and I know that I wouldn't want to come back to Louisiana, you know, to live here like that, until it's until it's a house and retirement. Like I done, you know, done my thing and moved around, and I could still and realize, and I could still maintain my connection here, no matter where I move, and just being on some knowledge to vibrate, not looking at the aspect, like you have to honor the aspect of like, well, yeah, possibly, you know, airplanes will stop being used. Oh, gotta let rain. Eventually, things is going, things are continuously changing, but again, don't allow for that to stagnate what I'm feeling in the now moment of like where I want to be at. Yeah, again, like it's certain areas, that carry the energy stronger than others. Like my brethren telling me about Hawaii, and then seeing like that connection where almost everybody dipped into Hawaii at some point in their growth. And I realized that's another thing too. I gotta definitely check out Hawaii, but like that aspect of yeah, again, they do have energies. Like, so again, like as much as I just said, our energy follows no matter where we go. There is an aspect though of certain places, having more of a, more quieter, you know, energy in that sense. But again, like that's another thing too. Knowing my unique self, there's a part of me that likes to be in the mix, that likes to be in the flow. Like, yeah, I love nature and want to connect with nature. Then I also get to a point where I feel like like I like to again like move around like and experience new things, and I feel like that Louisiana, it done reached that point where it's like and not that they don't, because again, like I done did videos, checking out different little museums and places I ain't never been in my own like hometown and surrounding areas. But again, it's like truly in that essence of it, I'm more so here trying to holding on to that future aspect, and it's not here and right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't where it's at right now. I mean, cause again, Baton Rouge, man, the mounds in Baton Rouge, like my Baton Rouge, like is like A1 real estate, open 15 minutes remaining. Again, main transmission of right now, this message I'm expressing, is really tapping into knowing ourselves to the fullest, you know, knowing what it is that we truly love, not the opinions, not what from my perspective, not what Tree of Life feel or Paulette Houston feel or Let Me Say My Peace feel, a Riley Rage feel, a Warren Teagle feel. I gotta feel, you know what I'm saying? I gotta see what Universal, aligns with. That's basically it. And got the Patreon, for those of y'all who want to join the Patreon. I'm about to start having vlog videos on my Patreon. I did that other video, that vlog number 1 is a complimentary first vlog video on YouTube, but I'm gonna have all that on Patreon. Again, because I gotta value, gotta value my energy and how it's, quote unquote time. Because time is an illusion. At the same time, in this parody, at the same time, time is illusion. At the same time, in this parody, we gotta be just, and I even said this in the aspect of time, but just again how we invest our energy in quote unquote time, like, because again, like, the amount of moments or energy spent from me beginning on a necklace to ending a necklace, or starting a video and ending a video, or studying some stuff, you know what I'm saying, like, or should I say, like, getting stuff together to do with it, like, that's an energy that goes into that. And also, I've been seeing, that's another thing I want to share, to raise my awareness in things that's going, and this for me though, because it's speaking to, for myself. I'm not saying this is for everybody, because I'm realizing again, like, we all got our own purpose. One person watching this video purpose might be to meditate in Tibet for the rest of their life. One person, journey may take them to, start creating movies themselves instead of, having people do it from Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But I see, like, my purpose, being in connected with being grounded and, and having a certain structure to what I'm doing, Like, again, like, seeing for myself that my connection to my, the connection to the hood, quote unquote, and like being an alchemist again, like that's the main thing. Like, we are alchemists, like, don't be a scared a pussy ass alchemist. Don't be such a puss. Shout out to the Lyrens. Real talk though, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, because it is a balance of awareness. That doesn't mean I'ma just go without any type of quote unquote strategy or plan or whatever, just go into a place of a bunch of negative people, like, I'ma just like put myself around a bunch of negative people, and just sit there quiet and let them, it's like, no. And at the same time, though, I know my skill set. I know how I could maneuver. I don't know how Let Me Say My Peace could maneuver, and Paulette Houston could maneuver, and Tree of Life maneuver through life. But I know my skill set. I know what I'm great at. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing, because I've been in moments, like, again, connecting with the quote unquote, average Joe, or just, connecting with people, and it's been fulfilling, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, we expressed truth and we were authentic in our expression, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the squirrel. That squirrel tapping into the inner child, saving that money in abundance. All right, start saving. You know, because again, unconditionally loving ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are your best friend and you could be your worst enemy. There are no enemies except for your own mind. The moment you give Donald Trump and the government that power of being your enemy that could stifle you, that's when it becomes that enemy that could stifle you. Like, it's what you allow for yourself to deal with, you know. Oh, dang, I done messed up the video. Y'all can still hear me? I don't know if y'all can still hear me, but yeah, I gotta. Oh, all right, y'all can. All right, well, give me 1 second. Let me go get this battery pack. See if I could. Come on. All right, let's see. So y'all still hearing me? Cause the thing to switch from my Bluetooth to regular speaker, so I'm just making sure. All right, word. But, you know, but that's if I could leave with anything again, it's just that, you know, remembering the alchemist aspect. And it's inner alchemy first and foremost. You know, it's transforming our inner realm, you know, our inner world, realizing the power of our subconscious mind and our mental in general. Like, our mind creates our reality. And if we think, and say for instance, and think about it like this too, to show you how powerful it is. And if we like, we don't treat that aspect with enough validity, it shows in our life, you know, of us not, like, if we don't believe that the mind creates on that level, that's why life is where it's at, you know, for better or for worse, quote unquote, for whatever, you know, it is what it is, and it's all your mind, you know what I'm saying? And the mind is also, like, we also always associate the brain with the mind, but it's more so the mind of God in connection with our heart, you know, and our soul, you know, that aspect. Right. That's how the subconscious works. Hence why I'm always like, you know, anybody follow me on Instagram, bro, y'all know I be going in with the jokes and stuff. That's another thing too, you know, that's just for me to simplify things, you know. Shout out to YouTube making the little community aspect, but I don't post as much on here for those aspects because I just do it on my Instagram, you know. And Instagram is not the devil. It's only a devil because you created it into one in your mind, you know.
Like, oh, I don't do social media because it's the devil. You know, that just means that you haven't, got to a place of transmuting that inner devil within you. So, because when you connect with Instagram, again, that's like a lack of trust. Like, I won't do this because and again, that doesn't mean to the extreme of like, again, like, uh, when I talked about fire, like, oh, I'm not fearing fire, so that means I'm gonna go pour some gasoline on the stove. No, it's just to make sure you're not fearing fire and realize you are the fire. You know what I'm saying? Somewhat almost like, when I think about you are the fire, kind of like, I thought about like putting my hand through fire and like moving it. I thought about like the Matrix when she didn't bend the spoon. I forgot how she said that, but ooh, shout out to the thunderstorms. Matter of fact, I just read Encyclomancy. Like, so again, like, oh, right quick. Uh, how's it go? We got like the negative ions is a positive thing, you know, and basically, again, like, our body has like a positive negative balance, you know what I'm saying, and more so too, we have like a positive negative balance with the atmosphere, but again, the more negative ions in the atmosphere, the that produces more serotonin, like that connects with the production of serotonin. And one of the aspects of producing negative ions is being by running water. So that's why, like, being by the ocean or like a water fountain or any form of like running water, kind of gives us that, like, that peace and serenity. You know, the shape of a pyramid, like just the way the air moves around that geometry, that creates negative ions as well. But damn, it was talking about encyclomancy, how, like, there's thunderstorms, you know, and I realized that that's why, again, it always felt like an energetic little reset or like a little shift after like rain or thunderstorm, and like a thunderstorm rain, not like the little drizzle, uh, like the California drizzles I didn't experience. I'm talking about like actual drops that feel like they could knock you out. They so big. Big fat water drops. Big old fat ting them water drop them be thick. The thick water drop them. They say he kicked me off of it. Nah, I haven't. I haven't been. I've had like as of lately, I done had like they got this new little fact checkers thing, so they done like put like a little quilt of blockage over my messages, like, oh, this may be misinformation about the COVID, and I'm glad they doing that because they showing their true colors. Like, again, you just have to be truly asleep to not see it and get it, and somebody who don't want to wake up, I'm I'm I can only be a beacon for those who have the eye and the ear to see, so to speak. Because that's what I was gonna say too. Like, it is an aspect, but I forgot, and I don't want to say anything. But it's basically like saying that, there's a certain level of thunderstorms throughout, this plane of existence in certain areas to balance off the energy. And I thought about places where it do rain a lot. And I'm like, all right, these places may be like an energy center for, again, this, whatever, this exchange of, atoms again, of electrons and protons, however you want to say it. But, again, so like places like Louisiana, you know what I'm saying, or I don't know. I know it rains a lot out here in like Seattle. I'm just thinking of places in this area on Turtle Island. But I think Oklahoma, with the tornadoes and stuff. I don't know necessarily how much it really, really rains. But I know Louisiana definitely gotta be like top. It's like a rainforest out here. I just learned the other night. I learned the little exercise to harness the energy in the body, like, and realize again, like, how I be doing shit, and that's what made me kind of go. I was about to run to the extreme of saying like fuck books and reading, but I didn't, only because I realized again the balance of things and the understanding that you know books and literature help to how can I say, again, it's like the masculine feminine. You got the feminine intuition and the masculine logic, where it's like kind of like creates the marriage of sturdiness of that information. Cause here it is, you tapped into it fully intuitively, and you also matched it with some, with a book reference. But like again, like how much shit I would be doing and be tapping into without actually reading books about it. And I'm like, well, damn, we innately, connected to all this, like, again, like for myself, that's why I'm not like, again, a lot of people think I'm like a heavy book reader, but now, honestly, I could sit down and just sit with myself and just, again, like have moments with the law of correspondence where I just kind of look at how a cell do a certain thing and back, and then catch an aha moment like, oh shit, da da da, and this and that is basically like the same, in 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 the human form. This is like the I'm trying to think of a big word from the cell because I always use mitochondria, but I forgot what was the you had the rough and the smooth something. I forgot the name of that shit, but but again, like you could pay attention to the small, again, the microcosmic aspects to understand the macrocosmic aspect. But I could just sit down with the law of correspondence and just sit down and reflect on, certain aspects from acid trips and DMT trips, or just psychedelic trips in general. Because I about to say acid, shrooms, DMT, But like I could sit down, what I'm saying, reflect on that. But again, I see where it also gave confidence. True life. Nick Cannon is definitely, he ain't playing no games. And again, that's another thing what I tell people, with that blanket ass shit of like, oh, somebody in Hollywood, they automatically a robot. They automatically don't get it. It's like, no, man, it's a chess game out here in these streets. you know, out here in these earthly planes, you know, like it's not just you know, quote unquote black and white or like checkers in that sense of it. You know, again, creativity. We we use our imaginate like some of us have used our imagination and our creativity so much so to the point that other quote unquote conscious or woke people can't even see it. Think about that. That's what, cause that's how I feel about Kanye. I'm like, and what kills me too is he be saying it in his music lyrics and keeping it saucy, like in interviews, like on some real shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like on some Nick Cannon type of shit. You know, but again, it's like automatically because he's married to a Kardashian, he's unwoke. Throw a blanket over him, thumbs down. It's like, you know, it's not that simple. You know, think about, I mean, again, you know, it's not that simple in that sense of it. Cause again, yeah, as much as things, you know, it's more simple than it's treated. With that aspect, again, actions speak louder than words. What's the percentage on what you truly, you know, like, you know, you truly doing things that are beneficial and highest good for yourself and others spiritually is gonna show, you know. So it don't matter if, you know, you chose the road of music, Hollywood, whatever, in which music really is the, you know, I mean, honestly, like, you know, what paints the picture of this reality more than what people watch, you know, visually and listen to musically, you know what I'm saying? Like, and hence why I caught the download myself, like one time in a little meditation of like I had an aha moment, like, you know, it ain't just about sitting on YouTube and discussing occult and esoteric information from a teaching aspect, you know. It's just more so just again like being a beacon of that, you know, of using your imagination and creativity and being that authentic and unique expression of source energy in this lifetime. Do whatever it is that you feel you gotta do to let your heart weigh heavier. Let your heart weigh lighter than a feather. I repeat, lighter. You want your heart to be as light as a feather when you transition. You know, and again, that's all uniquely different because eh, on my soul experience, if I felt like I needed to go eat a cheesesteak from Philly, you know, to transition without, you know, without feeling like I gotta come back, that's for me compared to somebody else. Like, bro, the last thing that they want to do in this lifetime is a cheesesteak from Philly, you know, or they got something else on their list that's not on mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because again, you judging yourself. You know, you don't have to believe me. You know, this is from my own transition slash, you know, heroic dose on DMT. You know, I had my experience. You know, which just all boils down to, you know, and you take yourself like the last things to be imprinted on your, you know, your subconscious is what goes with you know, in that sense of it. I mean, and I say go with you because that's our connection in essence, you know, to our soul is the subconscious. So it's like, you know, again, the body will cease to exist, but that subconsciousness, you know, or what we call quote unquote unconscious or subconscious, you know, it's still there. Just like on what, again, like the movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams and Cuban Gooding Jr. true life. And you see, like, and that's where I also, again, realized that balance, while I was kind of going to the extreme of the aspect of connecting with the intuition. Cause honestly, I keep it real. You know, it's not. It's more so what books I read and what references I could make in connections with books that, you know, that keeps me from having to have ignorant conversations, you know, with people, you know, and to the point where it just ceased to exist, or, you know, like I don't have nobody like I never manifest a situation where somebody like trying to like, oh well, I know this is true, and what you believe in is wrong, or like, you know, like nobody ever, you know, come to me on that level. Never manifested that situation. Cause I do feel like cause I do be on some, like, you know, again, like that. Shout out to my brethren, when, and not so much the ninja aspect, but just that, you know, that gentle assassin, bro. Like, I'm walking around like I ain't looking to drop all these references on you like that. But nah, if you poke, you know, you poke at me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to pull the sword out, and, you know, start making the incisions with the words of the sword, you know, with that air element, you know. Well, you know, the book 16 Crucified Saviors and and the Nicene Council, you know, and the fact that, oh, shout out to that hard TV, and the fact that in America you got your information from a slave master, you know what I'm saying, would suggest that, you know, holding on to the Jesus aspect is, you know, it's a psychosis of the mind. But I digress, and I still love you unconditionally, because, you know, unlike some Christians, I truly, you know, embody unconditional love. I don't have to agree or like what you're expressing, but I don't hate you. I mean, and it's all right to even have, you know, hate. Realizing again, like, hate is a valid emotion or a valid, you know, expression. It's just the aspect of not letting the hate be expressed in a manner that harms, you know, yourself and others. You know, like you could turn that hate into an artistic expression. You could, draw something, create a musical song, you know, with something, you know. And again, expressing it in a manner that doesn't, you know, harm yourself or others. Because when you allow for yourself to express that hate, you'll get like that. Like, you know, you could get to a place of really remedying it, you know what I'm saying, by acknowledging that it exists. And again, like, you know, even fear, like the aspect of fear is for us to, you know, because that's what courage basically is facing fear. And fear never necessarily ceased to exist as much as it's a constant aspect of us facing it. You know, facing whatever things that we fear, you know, just face it, man. Face it, you know. The rough and smooth reticulum. That one. Hey. Let's see. Shout out to that. Yeah, cause it's a chess game again. Like on a human level, yeah, you could say Michael Jackson, disliked his black skin and he hated his culture and on a soul level, like, and that's how I picture shit. Shout out to my imagination. Like I literally see a soul on some shit like before it get his body. Like, all right, how can I go down here? Like basically seeing like what's going on and knowing like again mapping out again knowing that Earth deals with time. So like mapping out like all right, this is what the era they dealing with. All right, like how can I go down there? And get the attention of the most, like get, the most eyes on me, again, like, and not attention for like vamping purposes, but like, how can I get, everybody's awareness, so I could spread this message out, you know, of truth, the, like I say, in the most expansive way possible. Like that's something. It's like, all right, like how I'm gonna do this? All right, I'm gonna have to dye my skin white after so long. All right, because people only, subconsciously, people only open the doors to that image. So all right, I'm gonna do that. And then bam, it's it's not no human shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a whole, and I did a video on that Michael Jackson Paramahansa Yogananda. Same thing. It was like, how can I get yoga, cry yoga in America in a place that's, racist towards brown people, you know, and basically, gonna feel, some kind of way about me, oh, all right. I embrace Christianity. I embrace the Jesus aspect because that's what they heavy on. And I know this shit is all avatars and shit like that, but in order to get, again, like my soul mission, I gotta play this game in this simulation because it is a simulation, right? Like, why so serious? SIRIUS. Why so serious? Again, you want to have a certain level of accountability at the way, you carry yourself within this realm, and at the same time, don't take it too serious. I'm talking to myself, because look, I have my moments where it's like, bro, because hence though, like, a lot of cases, I don't feel like I was, like, doing too much when I was, like, when I videotape myself tripping, you know, fucking naked in the mountains and fucking just again, like, bro, like, cause I feel like that is a level of like, some may say, oh, that's some psychology type of stuff to be naked or whatever and show yourself naked. This is, culturally we didn't do that and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Cause again, that's boxes. All I heard was box, 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 but box, 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 box. More boxes and more boxes. you know. And again, it's all on what it is for you. Because I see the balance and tactfulness in expressing our truth. Again, especially if you want it to be in the awareness of multiple beings, then yeah, you know, there's some tactfulness that has to be expressed. As just it is what it is, you know. But Straight Panther, what's up? What's up, yo? Love. I mean, that's another thing. Like I just tell myself, I just want to be a walking ball of unconditional love in every moment. You know, and understanding that I have no reasons to fear, panic. I have no reasons to, you know, again, worry about any quote unquote enemies. You know, like again, from my own experience, you know, again, it's the less boxes you put yourself into, the better. You know, and again, just because I interface with, you know, my ancestral lineage of connecting with voodoo or Yoruba or, you know, a certain cry yoga practices, you know, just because I'm tapping into that doesn't mean I put myself in a box of identifying with it, you know, because that's the balance, you know. It's some is a lot of useful aspects of what, you know, whether you see it as our, you know, again, because it is both, but, you know, in essence, the ancestors, you know, are, you know, aspects of our past incarnations, you know, leaving certain little breadcrumbs, you know, or even sometimes loaves of bread, you know, for us. Again, and realizing, to me, the aspect is like the balance of connecting with, you know, these certain traditions, and at the same time also seeing that a part of the tradition was realizing, hey, in this earthly plane it goes through cycles, and you want to be innovative, you want to be tapped into your imagination and creativity, because imagination, think about that. Like when we talk about imagination, think about how much you would restrict yourself if you're trying to hold yourself, like, or how much you restrict your imagination if you're trying to hold yourself to one part of, you know, source being, or one aspect of source being, you know. And that's another thing for us to have these discussions, you know, because we throw out these words, hey, be, you know, the ancestors, and be super tight with your culture and this and that. But then on the flip side, you know, again, hey, you know, don't be too attached. So like, what's, you know, like, what is it really meant for us? And again, like it's a balance with all these different aspects. And I'm expressing from my inner gnosis and what I feel, you know, is being, you know, expressed. Is again, like, if I'm tapped into my imagination, that doesn't mean I'm rigidly following the things of the past. You know, it's like, you know, like I'm creating. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm, you know, and yeah, they may not be nothing new under the sun. And again, constantly tapping into that imaginative aspect, because again, it starts from that inner eye. You know, before it could be some glasses, you know, before it could be, you know, a shawl or some headphones, you know, or a little battery pack. It existed in someone's imagination, or in, you know, again, so it's imagination, you know, tapped into the cloud. You know, and that's another thing. It is like a cloud. Like, you know, Mickey Mouse, quote unquote, always existed in the cloud. You know, Walt Disney just happened to be the person to bring it down and popularize it. You know, that's another thing. Hence why the aspect of not feeling like you're, like, getting too attached to our artwork, or, you know, in the aspect of like, oh yeah, it's just me who created this image, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, like, I mean, yeah, it was expressed through your unique little physical being, but at the same time, it's the will of source. You know, your inner, like the true aspect, the will of, you know, the truest aspect of me is not, you know, Carl Ray. You know, it's, you know, that source energy. You know what I'm saying, within. You know, that infinite aspect. You know, it's the will of that part of myself that's being, you know, carried out. Yeah, I'm grateful. Give thanks for seeing. Give thanks for seeing, uh, like people who considered unwoke starting to just question things to the slightest bit. Like, I'm so grateful to see that. And again, I realize too, because I only see the inner light. Because again, when people say, oh man, I only see people who this and that, that or that, or I only see this, like, realize you seeing what you perceive. And you seeing what you dealing with subconsciously. Because again, if you hate ignorant or unwoke people, you know, to the point, again, that's gonna create like a attachment in essence, you know, to the point where you're gonna constantly manifest that till you realize to not, you know, or not say hate, but more so like you judge that aspect as like, you know, stupid or good or bad or something of that nature, and you know, you're gonna constantly, you know, have to deal with it and see it like that, you know. Because again, like some people, like, oh man, people ain't gonna never get it. Oh, them niggas ain't. And I'm like, I don't see the same thing you be seeing, and I get that, you know, again, to not be naive, and because again, I know what it, you know, all the aspects of what exists in this realm. I'm aware of that, and at the same time, again, like, I'm aware of my imagination and the power of my mind. So, you know, again, like, I tend to, you know, have the focus. And again, like with shadow work, we don't go to the extreme of focusing on positive, because again, there may be certain negative aspects that's meant for us to, you know, pay attention to in order to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like where you have to like acknowledge, like, and realizing, like, because at one point in my growth, I realized this was kind of throwing me off with my shadow work, and I have to acknowledge that. Well, again, like that aspect of, you know, focusing on the positive, you know, and again, I would come to the understanding of like, well, shit, though, I know, you know, it's not meant for me to be extremely positive, and I know that, you know, I have to, in order to heal something, I have to be aware and acknowledge it, you know. So I always realized it wasn't meant to go to extreme, but again, like, there was a part of me that wanted to like have the extreme focus on the positive, and realizing again, like, of course we focus on the positive and what's going well in life, you know what I'm saying? But if we keep again, this is where this comes in. But if I keep having like a certain block in the area, and it feels like it's strong, like it's a thud every time, it's like, whoop, like damn, whoop. You know, then it's like, all right, it's something that you have to become more aware of, and you can't play the card of like, oh, I'm gonna just, you know, pure positive focus, because again, you've been doing that and it's been bloop, bloop. So at that point, again, it is about doing whatever it is that, you know, that you feel possible, that you know, that you should be doing to take care of this. That's about it, guys. That's about it.
rush. No rush them. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. And appreciate all y'all, man. I realized that but nah, the importance again of just connecting, us communicating in all facets, telepathically, physically, through tech, not through our organic technologies and inorganic technologies, because that help boost our morale too when we're building with each other and seeing how many people you know are connected. Because again, you don't want to depend on this. That's why another thing. That's why it's meant for us to realize it starts within. You don't depend on nobody else. Knowledge of something making you happy or not happy. You know, it just comes with the territory of it. Brings great joy. You know, to see others. Gaining that knowledge of self as well. And tapping into. La sister. Peace, love, and light. Oh, what's up, Mr. T?
Just got through doing the same thing.
Alright, chillin'.
I feel you, boy. This is fire. This is swing fire, boy.
Hey, bro, you gotta let them keep growing out, bro. I see you right there. Look.
I be fucking with it. I had dreads already, bro. I just be fucking with it, bro.
Hey, man, look.
I don't feel like cutting this bitch right now. I just be fucking. I got a little sponge. I just be fucking with that bitch with a little sponge.
Hey, gotta keep it natural, bro.
Bro. Got you for a while?
Huh?
Got you for a while?
I'm kind of like moving through. Like I'll be in Louisiana for a little while longer, but I'm definitely gonna be moving around again. But I'll be back. Look, I'm always stay connected around here, bro. Look, it ain't gonna come a moment where you ain't gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yep. Definitely, man. Look, that's how you do it. Like I'm talking on my YouTube channel right now to people, talking about that's how we spiritually grow. Is in those moments when we by ourselves, because we're allowed to, really see, chill with ourselves,
Look, I was in the cooler to make up for myself. Damn it, D1, D1, right?
Yeah, D1 music, yeah.
Jamming that boy right now. I've been on the rest last night. I've been so like jamming that boy today, bro. They sleep on him, bro.
Right.
All right,
Bob. Listen to you, man. See, like that part. It's not having the assumptions. My brother like, oh man, got his little twist. Just saw me chilling out. And again, like brought up D1 music. D1 is a brethren from D1 is from New Orleans, but he went to LSU, so he was doing a lot of stuff in Baton Rouge for a second. But he been speaking a little more consciousness into, and we all on our different levels. So some of us are not as deeply into the occult level of it as others. But again, I'm on some like any step forward is a step forward. Like I'm not one of those people who knock a person for wearing an ankh, just because they're from the hood and they might not necessarily know the meaning. Like at least now he or she got an ankh on. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's a step away from, the cross. Like it's
And again, it's not even more so about like, it's more so just what brings me joy is that people are becoming aware to be more open-minded. It's not necessarily that connection. That's another thing. It's not necessarily that connection with that particular symbol, but more so the symbology of that. In order for them to even see something outside of a cross, they had to open up their mind and you know, and trust something outside of what they were taught in church, you know, about the culture in the South. You know, again, because it's heavy slavery, heavy Christianity, you know. Yep. Peace, peace, y'all. Again, I definitely, again, and just see that importance of, like, for me, I like love, like, the community aspect, you know. Hence, you know, one of the things where I realized, like, all right, I could still have that in LA, but again, like, not trusting myself. I'm like, oh, but what if I get caught up in Hollywood or this and that? You know, like, I allow for those trouble, like, those thoughts to throw me off. Again, wasn't, you know, nobody else but myself. Because even as somebody manifested as, like, trying to scare me about, like, because there's no such thing. Like if somebody was talking about like, oh, you know, yeah, bro, you could get caught up out here, this and that. The only reason why that person exists in front of me saying that is because somewhere in my subconscious I had, you know, I was feeling like this. And now it's manifesting and allowing for me to interface with that aspect of my subconscious physically. You know, that's basically all we're doing. And just finding different ways of dealing with it and expressing it. You know, whether you deal, you know, deeply, again, and the true sauce behind it is, you know, the expression of numbers, you know, and symbols. But again, whether it's Hebrew letters, whether it's astrology, tarot cards, you know, crystals, it all boils down to you understanding that, you know, you just, we all dealing, and when it's really gonna get fire is when we really see, like, all right, damn, you know, it's all of our mind, you know, like this is all of our minds. You know, wow, and why I realize again the importance of, you know, focusing on the inner verse first and foremost. Got a whole universe inside of you to deal with. And hence the programming of like what they was trying to do with NASA and going to the moon and all this shit. You know, and I got my video on the moon landing. You can check that out. And and you know, it's like about going outward. Like you ain't even had self-discovery, and it kind of shows. Matter of fact, in the movie Ad Astra, I just watched that for the first time with Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, and it was reflecting, you know, so many deep psychological aspects in it. And I realized too, like that's the movies. Like Ad Astra is kind of like somewhat like sci-fi, but it's like it's the movies that's not painted in a sci-fi type of manner. Like it's the movies. Uh, I mean, I ain't gonna say a Truman Show. I'm gonna think of one even. Uh, well, I think about like Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is a good one. Kind of like the expression of the food card and that psychology or that archetype. You know. Uh, so again, like it's not painted with crystals and you know this and that goes to show you again, like our spirituality is deeper than that. Like that's a part of the New Age movement, just trying to glamour people with, oh, like you know, like crystals in the sense of just like, oh, just a crystal, and oh, it's cool. you know. But nah, it's, you know, it has so much, you know, more meaning and connection to it, and it's a tool. Not, you don't have to depend on it. It's that balance, you know, because again, it's a reflection of the organic aspect of source. So it would also be a part of the illusion to feel like it's that separate from it, to the point of like, you know, like, oh, it's gonna throw me off of my growth to even work with a crystal, you know. It's like, as long as you realize, first and foremost, you're the walking crystal. That goes with psychedelics, you know, crystals, all that. You know, it's like, again, like just by pranic breathing. Matter of fact, I be starting to jerk now, but like that's a release of DMT just by doing that, you know. So definitely, this live is being commenced. Just again, remember, y'all, just to stay in the present. You know, be grounded. I've been working with a lot of, like, you know, for the first time in a long time, just more grounding crystals. Like, yeah, I got my moldavite, but also in the moldavite shell casing, like, so in the little shell part, I got like a piece of Petersite in there. I mean, not Petersite, pyrite, and I'm actually wearing pyrite. And pyrite basically like iron and sulfur. So it's like the like root chakra or solar plexus energy. Being strongly grounded right now. Again, the person that could be cool at the funeral, you know, the person that could, you know, could authentically hold that balanced state of being. Authentically hold that balanced state. And again, you know, it does, like, some of us do have to realize, you know, how much of a beacon we are. Like, you know, like, I cry about stuff, but every time I cry, I don't put that on my YouTube channel. Again, there's a balance. You know. Or should I say, in connection with what I'm saying? Like, let's just say, you know, this all this stuff going down would make you cry. You know, you allow for yourself to hold that space with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to who in front of everybody. And at the same time, as I say that, again, the parodies. As I say that, that doesn't mean, you know, again, like, oh, it's something bad if I just bust out crying in front of everybody. But again, those of us do, you know, provide that certain light within the family structure, you know, soul fam wise, and your bodysuit blood fam, you know, connected by the energy of Ogun. That's also what I felt like, because everything is an energetic expression. So, you know, and it's my own inner download. Didn't read this nowhere, none of that. But like, how also with the Ogun energy, or like our blood and what we call our blood relatives, in most cases probably was somebody that we used to beef with, or be at war against, and that war energy connected to Mars, and Mars connected to iron, iron connected to Ogun. You know, and Ogun is, again, a deity or archetypical energy that's expressed in Yoruba as the name Ogun. And because people's imaginations are more real than they, you know, should I say, just all of it, I'm put myself. Since our imaginations are more real than we give it credit for, if you start to, externalize these deities, with your imagination, they could turn into something that is like an energy of its own, in that sense. Because again, when you're doing altar work, it's connecting with your inner subconscious. It's not to, you're not externally worshiping any god. That's it. Balance. Like I say, gonna feel that energy and connection with, we're gonna starting to feel that right now, like that, that August energy and that Leo energy. And again, it's just an archetypical energy that's expressed in the area of we, you know, what we now call August, but it's just in that point of existence in our now moment, you know, where that certain archetypical energy is, fluctuating and being expressed. And again, like with the pyrite, the tiger's eye, like your yellow golden crystals, connecting with that sun energy, confidence, courageousness. That's basically it, guys. Alchemist. No matter what it is, always realizing, again, a lot of us come from backgrounds where we, in areas that was flooded with all kind of shit to throw us off. And we still, we still here, we're still in the present, realizing, a lot of times it's more so our own minds that's creating these enemies and creating, these things to deal with. Focus on doing what we love. What do I love to do? What, like asking ourselves, what would I love to do if I never got paid for it ever in my life? Like, what's the one thing that you love to do that you do with a smile on your face, and you're gonna be pretty, great at it, in most cases. Because again, that's the mechanism of like our purpose is the things that we're innately great at, and the things that again, like brings us that great joy. Aligning with those things, It's that simple. never got paid. I'm talking about not a penny. You'll be able to wake up every day, do that, go to sleep, and be like, bruh, yeah. That part. Again, don't be hard on ourselves. Don't take our growth too serious in the space of like where we not having fun with it. You know, as long as you taking, any steps forward, you're taking steps forward. You're aligning. Be courageous towards facing fears and facing all, aspects of our being. Realizing shadow work is just simply becoming aware of things that were once unconscious to us. Like again, like certain unconscious good things that we do, that's in connected with, like again that we're not consciously aware of that we're doing, and that is causing, it's causing a certain disruption, so to speak, within our reality, due due to us trying to keep it out of our awareness. Because again, like it's no bad, nothing good nor bad. It's all experience. And the first 7 years of our life, most of us were, taught, hey, whether it's by our, guardians or by society, whatever, like, hey, this is good behavior and this is bad behavior. And whatever was labeled bad, you know what I'm saying? Whenever we done it later on in life, we pushed it to the side as bad, and oh, I'm bad for doing it, and you pushed it to the side in the shadows, and it's to shine that light, on that aspect, bring it into awareness and not push it to the side, simply, and removing the judgment, like I sat down with myself, and realized, like certain little areas. It's like, bro, look, I love you. I realize like you're not a bad energy. You do serve a purpose. Again, it's about integrating the aspects of our soul and not fragmenting it. Because the moment something becomes bad and the demon, that creates a fragmentation in our being. Getting back to the aspect of like the person who is just as dangerous as they are peaceful. you know it's like having the sword without always wielding it. It's like I got this sword or I got this ability to cut somebody in half, but I'm walking around peaceful and I choose not to, but I have the ability to. you know and that's what source energy is. Source energy is not always nice, in that sense of it. It has that ability, you know, to throw a right hook, or you know what I'm saying, like to wield that sword, so to speak. But again, like realizing that's the shadow. Anytime I get triggered into, a coping mechanism or some form of unhealthy behavior, I sit back and observe. I don't judge myself and just become more aware, because it's the awareness that that prevents it from continuing. Because that energy wants to do that. You know, that energy that's acting out is a part of ourselves that wants to do it in a hidden manner. You know, and if we observing, you know, it kind of loses wiggle room more and more. And just realizing again, like just the practice of observation in that area, it helps to clear that up. That's basically it. I said everything. And the shadow again is not the bad or demonic aspect of myself. It's more so the aspects that remain hidden from my conscious awareness, and it may come from us labeling it bad, but again, or something that's under undesirable behavior, so to speak. But at the end of the day, it's just that which again, the hidden aspect, and seeing the connection to it, a cult like that which is hidden, like and with spiritual studies, reason why the cult aspect goes deeper, because it's even the name, like that which is hidden, like going into the hidden aspects of ourselves, and shining that light, you know, because again, that's why Carl Jung literature was so saucy, you know. Only thing I read, and more so, it was a audio book. It was the Seven Deadly Sermons, and it was in connection with the Gnostic scripture. I mean, all his work, for the most part, had some connection with Gnostic scripture, and certain aspects of what he learned working with Freud. But yeah, that whole aspect is all connected. Honoring our, again, our shadow aspect, that hidden aspect, and shine a light on it, not running away from it. Because anytime, again, like I get triggered into like wanting to just eat something, even if it's quote unquote, because I done had the munchies from a state of being where it's not like hurry up and go eat, and and it's eating something that's very beneficial, to my mind, body, and soul. But I have moments again where it's like more so triggered into like the old school munches of like eating whatever, and I'm like, all right, having to observe, like, all right, because again, and it's not labeling, the herb is bad or good, or what I'm saying. It's like it's a trigger, because again, like everything is about how you connect with it. It's not the gun, it's not the crystal, it's not the cannabis, it's not water, it's not sunlight that's good or bad. It's how we interface with it in and what type of balance we have with interfacing with these things. Again, a crystal is a crystal. And just because I take a piece of pyrite and throw it at you in your face, that don't make all crystals bad or that pyrite bad. The same as if I, meditate with a crystal, that don't make all crystals good either. They just are what they are, and you interface with them however you interface with them. The food that you eat is what it is. It's neither good nor bad. Some fuels have this effect, some fuels have that effect. What works best for me. That's simply the basis. Because I think, and realizing my YouTube channel also kind of been like an indirect version of me writing a book in that sense. But like, if I would want to express anything, again, it's like showing just how like, you know, again, like showing how much like all these different things is just a bunch of different ways of saying the same thing, in that sense. y'all. I think I done got. Oh, and that aspect. But I also probably do another video on that. Realizing the imposter syndrome. Like, in that comparison shit, because that's what the imposter syndrome somewhat has to deal with, in the essence of it. But imposter syndrome, basically, that's another thing too, though. I realized, like, to stop making, because even when I made that video called A God Complex, I'm like, we want to be creating all these little names and boxes for like this quote unquote, blockages in our energy. But you see, where was I? The imposter syndrome. But it's basically where, like, say for instance, you're doing everything well, everything is going great for you in whatever field of whatever it is that you do. And again, it goes back to also mental knowledge, but basically, like, where you feel like, you're still not there, or you're still not doing it. Even though you're doing everything that like you've been accomplishing that, a lot of the things that you set to accomplish, you're doing what you gotta do, but it's still this comparison image, so to speak, of like, you know, again, because I was talking to somebody dealing with the coaching aspect, like spiritual coaching, and in the aspect of like how, again, it's just a lack of confidence in your own self, and like how, again, like looking at myself, like with my house situation, like, oh well, because I don't have a house, oh, it automatically discredits everything I've been doing, you know what I'm saying, you know on my growth, because I don't have a home yet, you know and it's like, no, you know what I'm saying, like that doesn't take you away from being able to, be a spiritual coach, or a consultant, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because again, like, it's your inner peace in the first place, and where you at, and being, again, like at that place of balance, of knowing, like, all right, if I'm not in my home, again, like, I know that, like, again, acceptance of where I'm at, and at the same time knowing that, I'm gonna align with myself, or with being in my own home, you know what I'm saying, and it's already aligned, I'm just aligning with it, you know and again, it's like one aspect of what I'm dealing with that I'm aware of, and that's even the other thing of, like, it's not as if I'm not aware of what's blocking my home, and that I'm not working on it, so that's another factor of, like, like, damn, all right, but again, like, that mind bar, and these comparisons, it could just, flush everything down the drain, in a couple of thoughts. That's crazy. That's that's how it works. That's the mechanism, you know, how it plays out. And again, so that imposter syndrome, again, like, I would, and I understand the aspect of, in which that's something I've done, and I don't. That's another thing. Like, it ain't as if I walk around and I be having to tell myself that. It's not like I created my YouTube channel on some, hey, I'm the master of knowing everything it is to know about everything. I've read all the books, and I've tapped into all the intuitive thoughts there is to tap into. It's not like, So again, like, it's like, why am I feeling like I'm not answering up to something when I presented myself authentically, you know, uh, in the expression of where I'm at, and what I'm doing with my YouTube channel, you know, and again, realizing that subconscious of putting pressure on myself from that aspect again, like, what a teacher should be, or these different constructs and stuff like that. SA, blessings. Appreciate that. Much love and blessings back. Yeah. Shout out to that butterfly. Word. Yeah. That whole aspect of just being confident in what we do, because that's also what creates the lack of doing, what it is, like taking necessary steps at, organizing or getting things together in certain areas, because we still may lack a little confidence in ourselves. And also for me realizing again, like what things, like sitting down, journaling, like, all right, what are the things that I truly love to do if I didn't get paid for it ever in life, and like seeing what those things are, you know, and like I've been realizing, amongst those things, doing jewelry is like third on the list, and at the same time, you know, it does help to provide, you know, uh, a substantial amount of funds, especially for the aspect of like, well, hey, I'm not working a 9 to 5, so to speak. So looking at it as, you know, and not to that extent, but like again, like all right, looking at it as like a 9 to 5, but at the same time, doing it out of love and out of me, resonating with it, and not trying to like again like a 9 to 5 to the negative aspect of it, like where you kind of like forcing yourself to do it just for the money, you know. Like I'm finding my alignment, with that. Or should I say, not finding it, fine tuning it. Fine tuning it. That's one of my things, sharing, you know, allowing for myself to build and have dialogues, because I saw in those moments where like that's when, I express things that are like, jewels on the level that even the people who wrote certain books that I read would feel like, like, ooh, like that's, and again, it's not about like getting no oohs and ahs. It's not just for like, ooh, that was, like my fact think of Brother Panic Bush, like, oh, that was deep. You know, it's more so for the aspect of it, shifting consciousness, because there are, again, just like little Zen books that have just like, matter of fact, I think about Zen Flesh and Zen Bones, that little book, and it's nothing but just little Zen sayings, some of them longer than others. And just by reading these simple little stories, it kind of just creates like a aha, or a realization within yourself, you know. And again, like doing it for the aspect of promoting transformation, and not just for like, oh man, that was some cool off the wall shit you just said, like. And I'm learning as I'm going, learning from my mistakes, and certain aspects of being vulnerable that's not meant to be shared, you know, and there's certain aspects that, which again I just let, go with the flow with it. And again, like it, if it was to be a devastating mistake to that nature, my inner source would, create many obstacles for me to prevent myself from doing it. But let's just say, like I do something and it's like, oh, it's a mistake. All right, I learned from it. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like it hurts. It hurts me more to try to hold on to that mistake. You know. I mean, even if it's considered to be like the most treacherous thing ever, It's like you still gotta, not hold that grudge towards yourself. Yeah, that's real. Cause that's how I feel about it too. Like I always want to be that person. Like I don't want to just cling to shit just cause it's popular amongst my conscious community peers. You know, like, and I feel like my channel do provide that. You know, like it is honestly just again like it's living visible, just aspects of seeing me through my growth, you know, and you get to see it genuinely throughout a well, at this point, 5 year and continuously, but a 5 to 6 year span, you know, like just, you get to see where I really did bring up something for real before I actually came across a book or a video that said something about it, you know. Or you can see me genuinely bring up something in a video where you could see I'm genuinely just like, and then, and then it's something that's talked about. Again, like, shout out to peace to the God, A.A. Rashid. I think about, again, like, he had a documentary, called Write Your Own Bible. I just recently came across, finding out that he had put that out there, and then, on my YouTube channel, like in the earliest stages of it, I was like, speaking on like writing your own Bible, or like somebody, writing or recording the events of what's going down right now, whether you say it in Ebonics, like, yeah, this happened, like say it straight up, or like writing it in like a, cryptic language or whatever. But I'm like, like again, and because that's where the Bible does have its sauce, is that there is certain numerical aspects within certain verses, that are of value. You know, like I did my solfeggio tones video, and I talked about how they had like there's a certain area within the Bible verses that when you add up, the gematria of I think what chapter and verse it is, or like the letters in the verse, it'll give you like the numbers for the hertz for the solfeggio tone. So and again you have that ability, because again it's a contradiction to try to restrict, like again like read books, tap into your intuition, but and just always realize like whatever works for you, having that balance for you, and realizing like just because we like it's not the end of book writing and authors writing things that's never been written about, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like within this lifetime, you know it's like, or should I say within this incarnation. How about that? So when I say lifetime, I think about simultaneous lifetimes. How it's just all infinite, even if it was spent in illusion of time. Like how tight is that? Like even though we in the illusion of time, it still ain't. It's still infinite in the sense of it. But yeah, like there's no end to again us bringing down certain information, because again like somebody might realize, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, let's just say somebody realizes like, oh wait, it's not about leaving this realm, but it's about realizing that this realm could be turned into a heaven or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's so many different things. But again, if you scared to, like if you so restricted by, the boxes of, what traditions say, or what spiritual teachers say, or whatever, what I'm saying? Like, it'll kind of scare everybody out of continuously expanding and which is, in essence, what's the name of the game, like, again, the, and to bring into, understand, again, as above, so below, within this physical reality is like a play out of what's going on in the body. So, like, the aspect of, like, well, the situation with quote unquote black people or melanated people, just like the bodysuit, if the melanocytes is all, cancered up and all, you know, their vibrational frequency all off, then the whole body, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, again, no organ is better than the other. It's an aspect of just how the mechanism, is built. Where certain, again, that's why certain organs are considered vital. You know, that's not to say that the arms and the legs ain't shit. Because of the fact that if you got all your arms and legs chopped off, you could still, live in essence. It's not saying that those body parts aren't shit. It's realizing again, like, how the mechanism of the body is built, and it's not to look at it from an egotistical hierarchy perspective. It's just understanding the truths of, the inner workings of, source energy. And it plays out, and again, and that's where, it's trying to be pushed into something that's just about race, quote unquote race. Because again, like, I would always joke with the with the essays and in San Bernardino and out in Cali in general, I used to be like, oh, bro, y'all ain't nothing but Spanish speaking niggas, bro, y'all need to stop playing, we just all laugh about it, and it kind of had that vibe, like, yeah, because that shit crazy, like, it's, you know, and where's the line drawn? Because, say, for instance, I got a great grandfather that's from Haiti, and I got white ancestors. Like, if you saw my grandfather on my mom's side, he looked like like an old white man. So does that discredit everything I have to say? And that's when I realized again, like, how some people take certain literature and take it to extremes. It's like, oh, being soulless or certain things that's, source is everything, but not this part. And again, like, it's like from the skillet to the frying pan, like that religious aspect being taken to spirituality, in the sense of like, oh yeah, it's everything except for those heathens over there. It's everything except for the devil. It's everything except for, it's like, well, then we need to redefine what everything means. We need some clarity in one of these areas. Somebody holding back on something. I don't know where that started. I don't know where that started. But, yeah. I guess it's time to. But I felt that was like a strong little, Look, it's funny because like not remembering everything verbatim of what I just finished, kind of going, you know, saying. I'm like, I could feel that it all connected and it all, it all made sense and it is gonna connect how you know it should for those who, you know, it's meant for them to connect. If you're vibing with the video, again, don't forget to hit the like button. You know that helps with the algorithms of the videos being uh, seen. Cause again, I tend to not like bring it up too much, but like how they've been working me. Cause the only way to, cause again they realized that a lot of my videos, and I realized that when I was doing this, I'm like, all right, you know, I did. Like it's funny because it's a double-edged sword. Cause people, you know, won't see like titles that automatically say, oh, this is what I'm looking for. You know, in that sense. But like I stealthily got like some jewels. I've been stealthily been able to drop like strong jewels, even you know some stuff that's considered to not even that you shouldn't even really say, you know. And I realized though that's why I was allowed to say it because it's kind of like you know like say for instance it might be at the like I did a 3 hour video and the jewel might be at the fucking 2:59 mark. Not that, but you know what I'm saying? Like the jewel be like right, you know, when those who wasn't meant to hear it then you know, then took their attention away, you know, and people who come to that video, you know, who not meant to hear it, you know, you know, ain't gonna last that long. So that you know, I realized the mechanism in again like creativity and imagination, how like still treated like the mystery schools in the sense of like you're not just saying any and all things of how it could pop off in that sense of it, and at the same time, you know, it is a level to you know people dealing with certain information, because again like that's why some videos had to be that long, because with some things I was allowed to express it because I fully like you know went through all the different little mechanisms to bring the whole picture into play, you know. But again, like with the algorithms and stuff like that, and me having certain titles that you know, and again, though I got my laptop. Ooh, it'll be here soon. I've been trusting and not being on no what a mailman at, what a mailman at, by trusting. But you know, yeah, it's flowing. Give thanks, being grateful. That's the thing. But again, where was I? Oh, the aspect again of the algorithm. Again, started from talking about uh, the likes and then went to that. But again, like the aspect of there's certain things that's hidden, you know, within my videos. And I've been having to again like realize like bro, you done you know not only put in the work constantly, you know, and you done express some, you know, some uh profound aspects, not profound in just the sense of intellect, oh that shit sounds good, but more so profound as in when a person hears it, their consciousness is gonna you know, like it's gonna shift. Hence why some people don't even, you know, watch my YouTube channel or, you know, because I feel like it's even like that for some people, you know, again, who may be considered teachers. Because again, I know all of us though understand that, like, you know, again, it's a constant teacher-student vibe, you know, constantly a student, you know, first and foremost, which allows for me to have the ability to express, you know, anything, you know, in that sense of it, you know, and I say express anything, more more so like again in the form of like information and somebody learning from that information. So must be the student. And that's another reason why I've been like, taking more, breaks or just like again like trusting the alignment with doing my videos and practicing. Like doing, again like sitting there and doing the inner work and really working with myself instead of just constantly like video, 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 video. Because at the same time, I get that, within the expression of it, like again, like I done saw where if I was about to express something that wasn't, like best for me and others, I remember moments like, well, again, like my computer or whatever, like something would keep happening to the video or it wouldn't load every time I went to load it, and I could hear my inner voice like, bro, like we giving you a chance to not load that because like, you didn't really express that, to the best of your abilities. Like, all right, word. Because again, I have no problem with, again, I be as vulnerable as possible because I feel like that also works on the subconscious for people to see that, to see these different connections, to see a person. Because again, yes, you like in order to continuously grow, you can't hold on to every aspect of your past or hold on to your past in that sense at all. You're constantly growing. You know, and at the same time you can still bear connections to like again like I still bear a connection to my mom or being from Opelousas, even though I've outgrown you know like always enjoying to be in this energy in that sense of it you know it's I don't know what I was. And I think I was talking about like again like the genuine expression, being as quote unquote candid as possible and just because again subconsciously people could see like again like all right like I can go through things and still make things happen you know because again the way the subconscious work and the way we've been systematically taught by the school system when people see and again and what's so crazy and shout out to all the quote unquote teachers all the teachers who express like hey what I'm saying I'm not like your guru or your teacher in that sense you gotta do your own research and things of this nature where that could still be said and all these things are like all the teachers who be like yeah I go through shit and I done been through shit like where they could still say it but because we've been in a school system that taught like you have to like almost like model these things to a T you feel like you have to be exactly how they are in the only way you see them which is when they make YouTube videos which is usually with a smile on their face and you know what I'm saying and again not to say that I'm looking at like I'm mad at the world today guys in that sense but again like you know just genuinely expressing as much as possible because again like subconsciously we just see like the picture that's always painted as as everything is always fine and again and what's so fire again the parody of deepest aspect, and to show you how I teach, like when you get deeper into, the deepest aspects of, the occult, esoteric aspects of spirituality, it does become more paradoxical, in that sense. But what was I gonna say? The aspect of teaching, to come to me. But it's like it was the parody with the aspect of, because again, you always see that picture of, again, like good mood, smiley, and at the same time, yes, that is also the the picture that we are looking to achieve within our lives. Because again, the balance, understanding balance is not necessarily, again, like, in order to be balanced, I'm gonna go look for negativity when things are positive. Because again, it's like realizing the positive and negative in everything, and we just look to have a life that we enjoy most of the time. Like, I want to enjoy, being in this realm for, until I transition, you know. So, again, in a paradoxical manner, yes, it is, again, paying attention to, again, those things that are going well, paying attention to solutions and not problems, and at the same time, not getting to an extreme about it. I trust that, I expressed, needed to be expressed. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I maintain confidence in myself, even though it has had, it has had a ebb and flow to it in moments. I'm grateful that I have tapped into the aspect of when the tides is up with that confidence. I'm grateful for my mom allowing for me to stay here, even though she doesn't fully resonate with the aspects of what I resonate with. You know, I'm grateful for the ability to, you know, to start being more like, to not judge myself, and then therefore not judge others. And I'm grateful for my ability to be more tapped into the unconditional love. I'm also grateful for my discernment and awareness, and I'm grateful that although I understand, again, the unconditional love aspect, to have discernment, and when somebody intentions are to be harmful, I act accordingly. I'm grateful for that awareness. You know, I'm grateful and to be grounded, a lot more lately. I'm grateful for realizing that my mistakes and negative situations are really learning experiences, and also to be an alchemist in those moments and have fun with turning that lead into gold. I'm grateful for that awareness. I'm grateful for the awareness to end this video in expressing all the things I'm grateful for. But you get, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could, you know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for the donations, and it's not because somebody did actually donate, so y'all have to donate. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for the donations I'm constantly receiving. I'm grateful for realizing the reflective aspect of how my subconscious is my external experience. My inner subconscious is my external experience. I'm grateful for that awareness, because it helps for me to realize the importance of getting to know myself more. I'm grateful grateful to not judge myself when I'm smoking herb, especially when I'm doing so on camera. I'm grateful to realize more and more the triggers, certain little triggers that are, coming up. I'm grateful for lightening up all the trauma that I've experienced, you know, and again, I'm grateful for realizing that that trauma extends from not only these incarnations, but it's a reflection again of the macrocosm. And when source energy first started to express itself archetypically in these manners in its mind, and from that moment trickling down, you know, that's what we've been dealing with. And I'm grateful for that awareness. Uh, and grateful for my extrasensory perception. I'm grateful to realize I don't have any enemies, only antagonists there to be the pressure to make a diamond. God is love. You could always, chime back in. As a matter of fact, that's another thing. Shout out to my brethren Cam Rod and the recent video I just posted. I did with my brethren, from Opelousas. You know, matter of fact, I'm grateful to be aware of, that inner light within, beings to the point of, again, I connect with, you know, people, places, and things that, help inspire even more, and bring more light, and realizing, again, in any, situation as well, again, like the positive, negative, and everything. Yeah, yeah. Grateful for the marriage of the divine masculine and feminine within. Grateful for being aware to honor the ancestors, and being grateful to feel that energy with me, in everything I do. And again, I'm grateful to be aware to not give too much power externally to, certain people, places, or things, that some may call the government or all this other stuff. But again, if you're vibing, hit the like button, hit the notification button if you so you could get notified of whenever I post new videos or do live videos. You'll get a notification. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed, of course. you know uh feel free to comment and share, videos if you feel like a certain video, and again, even playlists are shareable. Like, you could share a whole playlist with somebody, and I got multiple playlists for y'all. Again, been doing my best to organize videos, and the easiest way I'm gonna do it too, I realize, is like putting them also by year. So I'm gonna have like my 2015 video, 2016, so on down. That'll make it a little more easier too, and that way you get to see the little shift through the growth as well. But yeah, again, I said to subscribe, share if you and again, and to any artists, again, like, sampling, you know, like you want to sample videos in your music, stuff like that, or any type of, you know, artwork videos you're doing, you know, feel free, you know, or you want to use, again, like use this audio, you know, in some way, form, or fashion. You know, some people are, you know, shout out to my brethren, Levi says that, you know, he actually sampled a little aspect from a video, and at the same time, he made sure I was energetically compensated because I do have my BMI, you know, so, you know, it definitely, you know, I definitely love to get compensated 'cause I love myself, and I love myself, and I put that, I express that love in what I do, so I definitely would, you know, but again, still at the same time, it's no pressure, you know, again, I care about these messages, you know, being expressed in areas where it could, you know, help. So that's basically it, you know. Now is the only thing that exists. North Philly Peace Park. Yeah. Alright, know now is the only thing that exists. We simultaneously healing our past and creating our future. Right now. Now is the vibrate. You know? Again, don't let that little player hater within you, cause that's the greatest trick of it all. Is that the player hater within you get you to think as a player hater outside of you? Oh, then you just caught up you caught up in the player hater the blender, man. You caught up in the spin cycle, man. Don't let the you know, and also realize, you know what I'm saying, to let the little player hater know within, like, hey, you know, look, I don't agree with you when you act out, but I love you, little player hater, and I know you just be trying to act out because you just need more love and conscious light, you know, shine in your little shadow area. That part. Again, any and all donations is greatly appreciated. Got the links below most of all of my videos. I also have a Patreon account. You know, if you're interested in that. The first tier is only $3 a month. You know, I may push it up to 4 because I'm looking to bring more attention to it. You know, and create higher tiers. You know, but again, I'm just allowing for myself to do more doing, less talking. Uh, but yeah, it's definitely something that's in the workings. Cause yeah, again, you'll still kind of get like the podcast like videos and stuff on this channel, you know. But I'm again looking to shift my focus a little more to my Patreon, you know, cause those on the Patreon do, you know, have that focus of energy, you know, what we may call money, you know, invested. They invested some energy in me, so I gotta invest some energy back for that investment. His word to the little horn. Oh, man. Jenny Harrow, blessings, but yeah, man, blessings to y'all. Ooh, one of y'all ain't hit the like button. I'm at the 69, which I don't mind the 69. 69s are very awesome. Beautiful energy. That number 69. Yep, y'all already know now's the vibrate. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past.